What's up, everybody? Well, you've probably seen posts everywhere, videos, articles, everything, talking about the bourbon boom being over.
Yep, now we have to jump on that bandwagon.
We're jumping on, but in a different way. We're going to do something different today. So what are we going to do?
So you reach out to YouTube community, post it on Instagram, posted it on Patreon, and ask the viewers and of the channel why they think the whiskey industry is boom or bust right now.
Yeah, so we got the responses, and they're actually pretty interesting.
Yep.
Like, some people think the boom is over, some people think it isn't. While you're thinking about it right now, put it in the comments. Do you think the boom is over or not?
And why?
And why?
Yep.
Now, let's get into some of these comments. We've got the little handy-dandy sheet right here.
So we went through and printed out a bunch of the comments that we received and are going to go through some of those. We'll talk about them a little bit, but if we talk about them forever, this video will be an hour and a half long, and you're not going to be watching it then.
And we're not going to read the comments word for word.
Yep.
We kind of went through them and found, like, the biggest, most important thing that you guys put in your comment. So
and we'll pop them up on screen here and say whether if it was from YouTube, if it was on Patreon or what. So if you wanted to, you can actually go see the entire comment.
All right, now let's get into this. And before I start reading these, I got to tell you guys one thing, really important. Go hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button, hit the bell notification so you can be notified anytime a new video comes out, anytime we go live, etc. All that important stuff. Okay, now let's read these comments.
Now she's going to get in the first one. She lied last time.
I didn't lie. Now, I think these are super interesting. The first one comes from John Bowman. John says...
John J. Bowman. I don't know if it's J, but...
John says, I think it will start to level out and maybe Buffalo Trace will be able to finally get stuff on store shelves. There are too many things going on at too many distilleries for it to be over anytime soon. I think a slowdown maybe, but a lot of people still have a desire for bottles.
Yeah, so I agree with this, and we've seen a lot of Buffalo Trace in the Denver area. Actually, more Buffalo Trace in the Denver area, not a lot, but it's gone up.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Eagle Rare on the shelf more often, regular Buffalo Trace, things like that.
And the slowdown, we're seeing it ourselves too, because we're slowing down on some of it.
Yep. We're still buying bottles, but again, we're being more selective. We kind of did a video on that recently. You guys can go check out why we're being more selective.
Yep.
Comes down to cost. All right, so let's move on. Comment number 2.
This is from J Mac here. I don't know if we said at the beginning. The question she asked on that was, is the bourbon boom over? That was the question she asked. So some of these are just like yes or no type thing. So need to get that in there. But J Mac said, I surely hope not. After collecting and trying all the mainstream bourbons, I've been venturing more and more to craft distilleries and blenders like Evernorth and one of my new favorites, Barrel King, for a different twist on finishes of bourbon. 100% agree with that. I hope it's not over too. Well, I sort of hope it's over. The boom, so prices may go down, but who knows. But kind of getting off some of the mainstreams and getting some of the NDPs like Evernorth or Barrel King or Backbone. There's all kinds of stuff out there, and seeing those come through and those companies just succeeding is just awesome to see.
It is awesome to see. I love it, and I completely agree too. But I also love the variety of single barrels.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So what you can find on a store shelf, whatever, there's not that much variety. You kind of know what you're getting at a certain point. Now, when it comes down to a single barrel, there's such a variety and so many different options, and that's what makes it more fun. Trying new things and trying things from your favorite channels, etc. So that's what I really like.
All right, you got the next one.
All right, next one is from Robert. Robert says, there are so many brands and bottles on shelves now. With all the expansions, it's going to take a bit to sort out. We just had our first Bourbon Society meeting of the year with large crowds and several new members. Probably see some over-leveraged craft distilleries not make it or consolidate.
Yeah, I agree with that. The shelves are overcrowded with so much on there, and what was the last part about some craft distilleries not making it? Yeah, it's gonna happen, especially with the bourbon industry. It's not like beer, where they can make that product and have it out in like 2 weeks.
Right.
This is 2+ years.
Well, I think it also gets super confusing when you look at the store shelves. There have been so many new brands, so many NDPs, so many different things popping up. It's like, what the heck is on the shelf?
And a lot of people don't realize, I've talked with some friends and coworkers, that a lot of these brands, say 10 Cup, for example, because that's one I was talking about. He's like, 10 Cup's Colorado whiskey. I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
It's MGP.
Right, it's sourced whiskey.
Correct. So I was like, I would bet probably 70% of the bottles you see on a shelf at a liquor store are sourced whiskey.
Yep. And a lot of people don't know that.
Correct.
They just, and that's fine. I mean, obviously, really, like hardcore whiskey enthusiasts will know what to look for, but people who are getting new to the journey or just casual whiskey drinkers might not know that. So.
All right, next one. I don't know. Pruitt CEO, Pruitt's Co.
Pruitt CEO.
Yes.
Pruitt CEO. Pruitt CEO.
Pruitt CEO. Sure.
Pruitt
that
CEO.
Name. The market is oversaturated and price is too high. I think we'll go through a short dip. Once people get rich off crypto and stocks, the market will rocket back up. Yup.
I mean, people might not get rich off of crypto and stocks, but I do think that it is kind of taking a dip right now.
Oh, yeah. And prices are high. That's it. Not
All
a whole lot to comment on that one because
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. All right, Brian Shrimp 8603 says, I think like everything else, there's dips and valleys and peaks. We may be in a valley right now, but where I live, it's same old. People are buying bourbon at the same rate, and although I've seen a couple bottles I couldn't get before, it's still hard to get the highly allocated bottles. My only chance is raffles.
Yep. Yeah, the highly allocated bottles with this boom or bust in the whiskey industry, the highly allocated stuff is still going to be highly allocated. You're not going to find the Pappies, the George T. Staggs, the things like that. But you're going to find more of other stuff, and I agree that that's how we've gotten some of it is raffles.
Yeah, raffles.
Raffles, wheels, whatever.
I wonder if there's ever going to be a time where we get to the point of maybe 2016, 2015, where you could find things like Pappy on the shelf.
I doubt it.
Is there ever going to be a point where they start...
I doubt it.
Like they've put enough barrels down that they just start selling more?
All these distilleries, and you'll see that in some of these comments, have upped production.
For sure.
Based on this whiskey boom, but who knows?
I'm wondering if it levels off and things go back on the shelf.
I'm not a fortune teller, so I can't tell you.
I'm just curious. That's one thing. Let us know in the comments what you think about that.
Senior Donny, not sure if it's over, but I'm seeing allocated bottles on shelves. I am seeing unusually unfair prices. I am seeing my FOMO leaving my body, and I'm only drinking once a week, if at all. For me, it's surely over. Yep, agree. That, we are seeing more allocated bottles on shelves. Granted, they might be high prices. Health reasons for not drinking as much, FOMO, all that. Yep.
The FOMO thing, we 100% get that.
That hit on one of our videos. Was it the video the week before this,
yeah.
I think?
Yeah, there's so many points that are hitting here.
Yep.
So, all right, let's move on to the next one. CG's YouTube channel says, I think it's doing the same thing that the craft beer scene is currently doing. Breweries popped up everywhere several years ago, and there was an oversaturation. Now you see a lot of them closing.
Oh yeah, there's a shitload of breweries in Denver.
Especially in Denver.
They're all good.
I know, it's sad, it sucks, but it happens. It looks to me that the bourbon world is following that same curve. We have already hit the peak, and it looks like it's going to go downhill. I'm sure there will be more interest in bourbon than before COVID times, but it will eventually level off.
Yeah, I think it's level off kind of like housing. It just kind of does this and just kind of always up, down, and we've been in such a high up that I think it's going down a little bit, and it'll just kind of ride the wave.
I think it also comes into like the real world, like things influence the cost of everything.
Yep.
So, all right. Next
all right. Deck Nights on the Rocks Bourbon. This is kind of a long comment, so sorry we're having to read all this, but we can't remember.
Well, yeah, the comment is a really good comment, so we want to make sure you get the whole comment.
All right. So we feel that it is upon us, and the market drop of MGP and Brown Forming selling their cooperage is an indication of this. We feel it will be a good thing. With the current production increase at distilleries like Buffalo Trace, we'll start seeing supply outpace the demand. That would be freaking awesome. If we can start seeing like some Stag Juniors and Stags on the shelf again and things like that.
Hopefully the quality
outpace the demand with that, and the decline in bourbon interest as we move further away from the COVID effect. We'll start seeing the bottles we love on the shelf more often, maybe even back to the collecting dust days.
See, that's what I was wondering. I hope that would happen.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome if those happened, and that does happen, or that will happen, but only time will tell.
It would be really interesting to look back at this video in 5 years and see what has happened, because I guarantee you, our wildest imagination could not even predict what's going to happen in 5 years. So this comment is a little bit longer. I'm going to read parts of it. We can talk about parts of it, but
it's
guys
just really good.
It's a really, really good comment overall, and this was very thought out. So great job to Robert Dewar. If I said your name wrong, I'm so sorry, but this was a very well thought out comment. And actually, all of these are really well thought out, but this one's really good. Okay, so Robert says, While the rapid growth in bourbon sales and production may have slowed in recent years, bourbon remains highly popular, especially in premium and craft markets. Several factors contribute to this. Premiumization. That's a hard word to say.
It's like aluminium.
International growth, nostalgia and heritage, and diversification.
Yeah.
So it's so true. Like all of those points are like points we definitely hit on. Okay. Then he goes on to say some signs suggest a cooling off, such as production levels reaching a saturation point.
Production has gone up a lot and it's getting saturated. Yep.
It is. Younger generations choosing different vices such as cannabis and abstaining from alcohol.
100% agree with that.
Which is actually true. The generation below us, like the Gen Z,
it's
or
alcohol
Y,
and they
whatever.
don't drink.
Yeah, they think that drinking is bad.
A lot of liquor stores see it from liquor store owners we talk to.
Mm-hmm. The rise of other spirits like tequila and rum, which is so true.
So I wonder if it's going to go like, what was it, a long time ago where people thought that you had to drink vodka because darker liquors had more calories or something. Is that what it was?
Something like that.
It went from the whiskeys to like vodka craze. Was that like the 80s, 90s, whatever it was?
I think so. And then there was like this whole seltzer thing too that came in now.
But anyway.
RTDs. Okay. The crushing price gouging in the secondary market.
Granted, we have seen the secondary price market starting to drop on some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still like crazy things like Pappy and stuff, no, but some of the other things like the Four Roses LEs, the Master's Keep stuff, they have dropped.
They've definitely dropped, for sure. And the overproduction of certain limited edition bottles leading to price inflation.
Yeah, limited edition is 150,000 bottles. Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Anyhow. Okay, so his last point on this is, while bourbon may not be growing at the explosive rates seen in the past, it is still a major player in the spirits industry. There's not a market that can rise indefinitely, and bourbon is no exception. In the end, this too shall pass.
Yep.
100%.
So, yeah.
Perfect way to seal that up.
Yeah, that was a really good comment. All right, next one. Richard Reck. Living in Kentucky, you can't deny the boom is ending. Distilleries releasing things people seek day after day when they never used to. Speaking of that, I think I've seen Buffalo Trace releasing a bunch of random high-end stuff, not their typical, just like E.H. Taylor or Eagle Rare. So yeah, that's true there. Guess he is in Kentucky, so yep. Shelves are full of things that never used to sit and are even starting to go on sale. Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Yep, we've seen that here in Denver.
We're like, whoa, right. Okay.
Next one.
All right, the next one. Brad Shinkles says there are too many signs from legacy distilleries that the boom is over. These distilleries are actually selling barrels to make up for lost revenue as well as marketing new labels to create a new buzz. When Buffalo Trace begins putting their staple allocations on the shelf every day, you know supply and demand are leveling.
Just said that on the last comment, or the last comment. I think I said that.
100%. You start to see it on the shelves and moving on. Okay,
right.
Let's get on to the
We got
next
two
one.
more. Zach Hewitt. Every time I go to Kentucky and visit distilleries, they're all saying they're expanding. Maybe the secondary market will soften. Who knows? I can see NDPs shrinking unless you make a really good product.
100%.
Yep. Yeah, all the distilleries are expanding out there. They're going gangbusters out there.
But it's beautiful and it's awesome to see.
Oh yeah.
More product.
Last comment.
All right.
This is a YouTube community comment. We know this one, and you'll see it on there. Really long comment, but definitely go read it.
Yeah, definitely go read the full comment. It's so it is on that post It is on that post I put on the YouTube community. Okay, so this comes from @the_iPad.
@the_iPad.
I like the name, it's funny. I definitely think that things are dying off. MGP barrels are getting cheaper and cheaper, unless you ask their CEO. Distillery expansions are starting to take effect.
Wait, didn't they get rid of their CEO recently?
I don't know. Distillery expansions are starting to take effect. Issues with Kentucky Owl, huge buyer fatigue, emerging categories like American Single Malt, and the list goes on.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how American Single Malt's going to go. I know it's an emerging category. I know didn't it just become kind of an official thing?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious how that's going to go. Because I know bourbon people are bourbon people, hardcore, and don't like anything else. So I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I am curious too.
Anyway.
All right. He goes on to say, near me, I've seen more Buffalo Trace than ever before. I've seen Woodford Special Releases sit, Wild Turkey Master's Keep sit, etc. I think the days of people buying anything and everything rare are gone. Mm-hmm. Now, because of FOMO.
Yep.
Now it's just left with the selective market of conscious consumers. Sure, stuff like Pappy will be impossible to find, but the crappier special releases won't sell because they're not good anymore. Brands are going to have to raise their standard to back up.
I love that comment.
I think it's a great
It's
comment.
a great one. And it goes on to finish with what?
He says, I hope things get shaken up. I turned 21 during COVID, so I've never in my time seen the good old days, and I'm tired of it. I think
That's awesome.
this is such a beautiful comment from someone who is newer in their whiskey journey.
Yep.
That started like, holy crap, can you imagine turning 21 around COVID and like being a bourbon drinker? That is crazy.
Yeah.
So very well thought out comment again, and all of these comments were so great. We really appreciate you guys actually giving us the feedback, and it's interesting to see that while we might have different perspectives and different thoughts on it,
It all comes. They're all very
all about the
similar.
similar,
They
yeah.
all intertwine or are similar, and these are what you guys think.
yeah. So,
We agree with a lot of it.
We do.
Yeah, this is what all the whiskey community thinks. All the whiskey community, the people that commented.
now is the boom over? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think only time will
Stay
tell.
tuned to find out.
Stay tuned to find out. But I'm a bourbon lover. I'm going to keep drinking bourbon. I'm just going to be more selective in what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Until prices go back down and I can
I don't
find
think
the
they're
things I
gonna
want.
go down.
I don't think so either. I got to win the
Once
lottery.
prices go up, they don't go down.
That sucks. All right, well, that's all we've got for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Dara.
Bill.
We'll see you next time right back here on The Average Drinker.